Hey, what's up, friends and family, and welcome to the 148th episode of Tones Takes. And hey, let's talk about Spider-Man, right? Cue up the theme music because this is going to be pretty awesome.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out!
Woo! Here comes Spider-Man.
Is he strong? Listen, bud.
Look at that guy go.
Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes a Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a streak of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
All right.
He's ignored.
So, if you haven't heard, let me stop that. So, he's not really Spider-Man, but this guy, his name is Mamoudou Gassama. He's a 22-year-old immigrant from Mali. He got his papers to live in Italy. However, he was in France, I believe it was Paris, with his older brother, who's lived there for about 10 years. And talk about right place, right time. This poor baby that was dangling from a building, life and danger, was saved by this guy literally climbing 5 floors. 5 entire stories. As people below watched in terror, helpless. He's 22 years old. He's from Mali. And yeah, a man in the neighborhood, neighboring balconies, emerges and leans forward. He grasps the child. He reaches the child, lifts him to safety, even as he's still on the balcony. As you saw in that video, which was called, it's gone viral. So if you haven't seen it, there it is. And now Gassama's a national hero. And again, a country where he was living illegally. And I tried to read some of the tweets of what was tweeted by Macron, but let me just finish this story. So, the Parisian Mayor Anne Hidalgo, who is pictured here throwing up what I can only assume is The Rock. Maybe she's part of Rockefeller Records. I don't know. She said, "Congratulations to Mamoudou Gassama for his act of bravery that saved the life of a child last night. He explained to me that he arrived from Mali a few months ago while dreaming of building his life here. I replied that his heroic gesture is an example for all citizens, and that the city of Paris will obviously be keen to support him in his efforts to settle in France." That's interesting. All you have to do is save somebody's life, and you get automatically transported to the front of the line for citizenship. On Monday, he met with French President Emmanuel Macron, who just couldn't hide his smug French smile upon meeting him. Look at Macron's smile. Isn't it just so dreamy? Oh my goodness. Anyway, he met with Macron, and Macron, I guess, had just nothing but great things to say to him. Here's a video of them meeting and talking and discussing things. Basically, Mamoudou Gassama said, "Yeah, I crossed the street to save him. When I started to climb, it gave me courage to keep climbing. God helped me," he said. "Thank God I saved him." In which Macron replied, "Bravo!" nodding with awe. For his heroic act, Macron said, Gassama will be rewarded with papers to allow him to stay in France legally. Just like that. I mean, just like that. French citizenship if he wants it. And, this is an awesome part, he would also be given a job. The Paris Firefighters Brigade would welcome him. So, they look like they need a lot of help too. If this is a stock photo of the Paris Fire Brigade, and yeah, if that's your fire brigade, I can see why Macron needs all the help he can get from wherever. Macron said, "France is a will, and Mr. Gassama has demonstrated with commitment that he had it." Now, I'm not going to really, talk too much about Gassama's heroics here. I wanted to really talk about, and I won't talk about it long. This is a question for you all. Should he be bumped to the front of the line for saving a child? Because if that's the case, this sets a dangerous precedent. Because here in the United States, there are plenty of ways to put people in danger and then act like you're saving them. So I'm just throwing that out there. Will Donald Trump automatically make someone? Of course he won't. No, he won't. I'm not even gonna act like that's really a question. I'm not gonna act like that's a question. Francis a will, and Mr. Gassama has demonstrated with commitment that he had it. It doesn't matter how much will someone has in the United States. Look, there was a news article yesterday that a Guatemalan woman, as soon as she crossed the Texas border to the U.S., got shot in the head by a border agent, and we've got 1,500 kids that are missing, immigrant kids. So it never happened here in the U.S. Never, ever, ever. I do wonder, though, where was Mr. Gassama when this was happening? You could have saved that baby too, Mr. Gassama. Could have gone to Germany and saved that poor baby from Crazy Michael, but he probably wasn't even born then. 22 years old, was he alive? But anyway, I reached out to President Trump for his reaction on this man climbing a building, and this is all I got. I think he's worried because, yeah. Everyone can climb walls and buildings. What's your wall going to do, Mr. Trump? So I'd love to get anyone else's response on this. Should Gassama have been placed at the front of the line when it comes to his immigration status? He was there illegally. Climbing buildings is probably against the law. Should he have just let the baby dangle there until the fire brigade with their 5-foot ladder showed up? The only other thing about this child, the child's father is being charged by authorities for parental neglect, a la Michael Jackson. But that's all I've got to comment on this story. I think it's great that Gassama saved him. I have doubt about what Macron is doing, just bumping him to the front of the line in the immigration line. I'm sure there are plenty of people who have been there before who might not have the American Ninja Warrior skills of Mr. Gassama. But they've probably been there for a longer time. His brother probably isn't even a fully legalized resident in France. So anyway, that's all I've got. Let me know what you guys think about this story. I just think it's funny. It's funny how the world works. But yeah, that's all I've got. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out!